said you can pick your friends, but not your family. And for some folks, that means spending time with certain relatives that push your buttons a little bit.
That's true, yeah. Whether you want to be with them or not, you know, real emotional eating and drinking can occur during the holiday season, unfortunately. But our next guest says that there are more productive ways to beat that holiday stress, and we are joined by her now, Lisa Lieberman-Wang. She is a relationship expert and also the author of a #1 best-selling book. Welcome here to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Here's the book right now. Find the tab.
Look at you.
Very nice.
Yes.
Now this is cool because there are a lot of experts out there that just say that they're experts, but you actually have some experience with these things.
Yes.
Tell us all about that.
I'm a real expert at emotional eating.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent 13 years that I don't want to remember, but I do, compulsively overeating, binge eating, and bulimic. And it's been 21 years of not doing that anymore, but for me, that was just my way of finding comfort and solace where I didn't find it in other areas. Yeah.
And that's what people sometimes do during the holidays. Maybe not to that level, but
Right.
It happens.
Absolutely. You know, what's happened is it's actually one of the very few things that's approved of. In other words, alcohol, drugs, people don't think of as an approved thing to go to, but when you don't feel the love and connection, you're looking for something, food's an easy escape, right?
Absolutely.
It's always there.
Yeah, I mean, especially during the holiday season. Do you have any tips for ways that people can sort of curb this a little bit?
Well, absolutely. The holiday seasons, there's more food available to us than any other time of year. You know, you're going to parties, families, and other things, and then there's a lot of also go-to foods that you don't even realize that will bring you back to emotional home. I don't mean just home, but emotional home. Whether it's the pumpkin pie or somebody's, you know, favorite cookies that they make, and you know it's that time of year.
Yeah.
So one of the things to do is plan ahead. Plan ahead. Knowing you're going to be going to a family outing, sometimes most people will start with feeling a little bit more stressed. You know, I don't know about you, but going back home was a difficult thing for me when I was moved out after years and didn't want to go back into the environment. And as soon as I went back home, I was already making it really big, a big challenge of having to deal with the family, who's going to criticize me on what, how am I going to be corrected? You get it, right?
It happens, sure.
It happens. And what happened is normally the first thing would be, you know, how can I connect to something other than not pay attention to them? But the first trick is not to pay attention to what's going to be wrong, but actually look for what's right. Look for something else. So instead of
find the positive.
Find the positive, not to look for the food. You know, most of us are very easy to look for the food first and say that's the answer. Find why you're going. It's not about the food. Stay away from the kitchen. Before you go, eat something ahead of time so you're not famished when you get there and you're not focused on the wrong thing, right? I always say, you know, you just picked up the glass, have something in your hand. I always like to have water in my hand.
Probably not an alcoholic beverage,
No,
though,
not
this time of year.
Yeah, not alcohol.
I don't have any alcohol in here, I promise.
But have water in your hand or something. That way you don't have a free hand to lift something up and to go pick at things. You know, that's an easy thing to do. Find someone safe in the family or an event where you feel good. In other words, you don't need the food to feel good.
Yeah.
A lot of times what we focus on grows. So if we're focusing on the food, the only thing you're going to see is food and you're going to eat everything in sight.
Yeah.
I always suggest that if you can eat anything, make sure you're sitting down, you have a napkin on your lap.
Ah, that's good advice, because it's standing up, you can pick everything, right?
Well, most people don't realize if you were to consume what you do is picking, you've already eaten 2 meals before you sat down for your main meal.
That's a problem.
It is a problem.
It sure
So
is.
you know, if you don't have a napkin on your lap, you don't eat, and that's an easy rule because it means you're sitting and then being present when you eat. Most of us are, when I mean by present, not giving us presents for the holidays, but present meaning know what you're eating. How many times have you eaten things and inhaled it? I've done it in front of the computer.
You don't even taste it. It's just like to kill time.
Just food, just for fun.
Yeah.
Fun food.
Well, and you know what? Most people have no idea what they've consumed, but if you actually tasted the food, you'd realize you don't need as much to be satisfied.
Yeah.
That's a really big thing as well.
And I'm assuming it's also important to know who you're around, people who understand your situation and that you trust, that can sort of help you with these things.